Welcome everybody to the finale, the actual finale of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. Going to be working with a new setting here because, once again, had to, do the old copy-paste trick to get things to work, so I'm going to be messing with the audio settings here for a moment and just seeing how it sounds. Mostly it just messed with the game audio, but I'm going to have to mess with the audio on my end as well. And since it seems a bit loud, let's switch that. I don't know why it keeps doing that either. It's just saying like, oh, we're not registering this capture device, and so I just make a new source for it. But don't mess with any of the actual, stuff that transfers into the computer. No problem. Runs fine. It's a bit of a mess, to put it mildly. But tonight is going to be a bit of a shorter stream. I'm only going to do the final two stages, so we'll have Rebirth 4 and Rebirth 5, and that will be the end of the Coinflip run. Just as a side note, we'll be starting either 5 or 5:30 tomorrow, where Icarus will start a new project as she finished up Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. She will be doing Pikmin 1, technically for the Wii, but apparently it's also on the eShop channel, so if it is on the eShop channel, I'm gonna go and get a copy of that. I need to up my audio a little bit. That's a really tricky balance to maintain. Let's try it about there. So she will be doing that tomorrow at, again, starting about 5 or 5:30. We're probably just going to do like 10 days each recording session, and since it's a 30-day game, when she either succeeds or fails, that would make it a 3-part run, and then we'll move on to the next game. Because it's a pretty short game, but still very good and one that I wanted her to play. Alright, cool. That audio sounds good. That means I don't have to worry about messing with it anymore. Hooray! Which also means I can toss this to the side and pay it no more mind. Away with you. Now then, close a few more things, and let's get started here. So at this point, we've pretty much reached the end of explaining how the run works because we've gotten to Endgame. But for those curious that were not here for any of the previous parts, and you've probably heard this about 65 million billion times if you're watching this on YouTube, the way this run worked, still technically works, is when a new character is introduced, I will use a program to flip a coin. And upon flipping that coin, I'll obviously call heads or tails. And if I'm correct, I'm able to use that unit as, you would be able to in any playthrough. If I call it wrong, then I will not be allowed to use that unit for anything. If they're forced into a stage, then obviously they have to be there. But they're only allowed to do the minimal amount, which means no fighting unless, they start with weapons. We're talking like the very beginning of the game. And there's no way to get around it. The only thing that they are really allowed to do is satisfy any conditions such as... Wow, that's not a lot of damage. Satisfy any conditions such as... like arriving, things like that, where Wolf had to do that in a stage where he and Ike had to arrive together. Things like that. They can also fight only if it is to save another character that has been put on cheerleading duty, as we've also called it, in order to keep them alive. I don't think... Okay, I've been wrong before. Maybe you can break Thunder Tail. What? Huh? I'm so confused right now. How did that... Whatever. Let's just move on. Let it go and move on. Seriously, man, what the heck happened there? That was weird. Never seen that happen before, anyway. God, didn't I'm kind of still in shock. I didn't realize you could break that. Like, because you can't break, like, claw or fang or beak or whatever's on the Lagoose. So I figured it was, you know, the same basic principle of you shouldn't be able to do that, but apparently you can? Okay. So I'll talk more about my thoughts on the project as a whole and what I think of doing this type of run when we actually get to the end of it. So I'll save my final thoughts for there and focus a little bit more on the gameplay in these last couple stages. Because this is actually, like, pretty hard. This is an easy stage to, like, navigate through and whatnot, but the spirits can make this one a bit of a problem. So I'm probably going to move my healers last in case I need them to use Fortify or anything like that. Because there's a pretty good chance the answer to that question is yes, they will need to. Oh, we can't make it over there. Alright, cool. We'll do that then. The upside is this is a very small stage, so Fortify should be able to reach everybody else no problem. Can I use Balbreath on? Yeah, I can. Okay, cool. These aren't affected by, like, the, has to be the spells you've increased in order to use. I don't know what it is about that, like, orange-green color, but it looks like vomit, and it's kind of gross. Well, there's no kind of about it, it's gross. I said I was moving in blast. Wood may take a lot of damage, but you can also give it out, so... I think we should be good with just Fortify, so I'm going to knock you out. Just try to eliminate as many of these guys as I can. Brought everybody up to full, good. Time for the actual finale to say, yeah, I didn't adjust. Oh, I completely forgot. See, that's the problem with using this guy, is because he always looks like he's grayed out, even though he's not. Get rid of that guy, I guess. Luckily, he's easily strong enough to one-shot those guys, so that's not too much of a problem. That did more than I thought it was going to. Also, why didn't he... Okay, whatever. So you might have missed this a second ago, or, because I don't know why this happened, but Micaiah got corrosion on one of these, like, little spirit things, and it broke the weapon on it. It's that guy right there that's sitting next to Naysala not doing anything. At least I'm pretty sure it's him. Yeah, so apparently you can break the weapons of the Thunder Spirits? I don't know how or why, but you can do that, so that's cool, I guess. Let's see if we can just knock him out right here. Well, first. Yeah, no, they didn't do an animation for the spirits. I think it was kind of like the same principle of using, like, an animation for your allied units back in, well, no, I think they do it here as well. At the very least, they did in Path of Radiance, where they didn't show animations for the characters. Let's see if Gautry can, like, clear a path for Boyd to get in there. Nope. Sala should be able to, though. Or I could be completely wrong. Try a combination of stuff here. I bet Kieran can probably do it a little bit more effectively. 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, can't do that. Just out of reach. Alright then. I do believe Boyd can probably do more damage than Naysala can. Every little bit helps, I guess. Or that could happen. Oh, right. It still shows the damage, but yeah, he's got the... has to be blessed weapons. Thingamajig. Of course! Closer. Please don't miss. Of course it did. How much damage were you gonna take on your first hit? It was like 30, you got 36. Jeez, I don't know what it is with his bad resistance, but it's not good. Alright, we're gonna hope this works. I mean, if not, I'll just reload, but... Well, at least I know you won't miss, so there's that. Or you could get Corona, that works too. Alright, cool. So that probably would have worked, and that's why the game did what it did, because it realized it was going to work. Thanks for that. Could you imagine doing a deathless run with, like, no save states on, like, hard mode? It must be impossible. Yikes. That. Let's try something slightly different here. Nope, that's not gonna be enough damage either, of course. Oh, right, you weren't at full level. I completely forgot about that. I think you had everything important maxed, though. Yeah. Yeah, that should work. You won't be able to Corona your way out of this one. Jackass. Alright. Well, actually, there's no point in wasting Fortify. Someone had Hammernine, right? Yeah, but you've already moved. And I'd rather just kill the boss. Oh, right, guard. Yeah, forgot about that. You're running out of people to guard. Can't do that, because he's got, I don't know why I keep saying she, I think it's just the long hair. I know it's a dude. I wonder if I could get him with Micaiah. That'd be, like, amazing if I could do that. That actually could work. Alright, cool. No, it's too late. This changes nothing. I agree. It's too late to apologize. Or it could miss with 89% because it's Fire Emblem, and of course it can. Yeah, like that's gonna hit with 40. Oh sure, it works for the 40, but not for the 89. Yeah, sure. Mathematics, you failed us again. Why do you keep failing us, Mathematics? Ugh, so salty about that. Like, I don't care who got the kill, but the fact that 89 didn't work, and then it's like, oh, 40? Sure, why not? I am genuinely upset by that one. Whatever. Well, that went by faster than I thought. Like, I know that stage is pretty short, but I was expecting that to take a little bit more time. That stupid guard ability, man, that's awful. Like, who in God's name thought that was an okay thing to do? Alright, before I do that, I need to know who's gotten a hill, because if they're not at max level, they need to get there yesterday. Okay, Ike and Boyd are both there, and Aysala is not. Jifsa is not. Parody technically counts, but he's at max level. Alright, so it needs to go to Jifsa and Aysala. And probably you, because you're built like a truck. Emblem math makes no sense. It really does. Like, if you think it's bad here, you should go play the GBA games. I think somebody's cracked the coding to prove that, like, hit percentages in the 40s and 50s are actually higher than they are in, like, the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Which is really stupid, but it also explains why the axe users are, even back then, pretty decent. And yeah, Nisala, you'll just take the rest of it. What do you do? Alright. I don't think there's anything... Well, if I could find a character... Dragonfoe, that's not going to do any good. Guard and Pavis. And Pavis might come in handy, but even then... I doubt there's anything worth getting rid of for that. I just realized, too, when Mia got killed by Corona, she got killed by Corona while she had Miracle as well. That was a fatal blow that got reduced to half damage, and it still killed her. Good God. That's insane. Absolutely insane. I guess I could get rid of Imbue, but I kind of like leaving it on Kieran. You can take her. I'd consider it, but she's not doing enough damage, and she's at max, and she's got Alendite, and she still can't do that much damage. I need to put it on heavy hitters, which is why it's on, like, Jifsa, Boyd, Ike. Well, obviously Ike, but... Sure, why not? Every little bit helps, I guess. Conversations, items. I think we're good on items. Forgot I gave you ward. And because the last thing I need is that breaking in the middle of the fight. That would suck. Oop, no, not you. Now I gotta try to remember how to do this. Like, it's pretty much everybody with the hill is straight up on beating down the wall. So Boyd, Naysala, Jifsa, Ike, Helios are pretty much solely on that duty, and everybody else is there to knock out the spirits or heal. Because it's been a while since I've done this on normal, actually. I usually play casually and play on easy. I have beaten it on normal. That works. Of course an 86 missed as well. Why am I not surprised by that? Brom, I didn't give you a hill, did I? No, I gave you Savior. Larry did not show up. No, I couldn't beat the, I couldn't initiate the fight between Ike and the Black Knight because my speed was too low. He was at max. He was at level 20 when I got there. It's just his speed growths weren't high enough, so I couldn't get that conversation between the Black Knight and Ike. It wasn't possible. Which is stupid, but, like, you know, what am I really going to be able to do about it? Move over one, why not? I guess Fenrir is a little bit stronger. Yeah, the problem is the accuracy's terrible. Good news is Death Blow doesn't do any damage with Aurora because it killed it, so don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna do something a bit stupid here, but... Well, no, I can't. I don't have enough character. Alright, well then, I'm not gonna worry about it. I was gonna say I'm gonna start damaging stuff and then use Fortify and then use Hammernine on Fortify to get it back, but that's not gonna do... It's not making enough difference. I can't reach that guy over there. So there's no point. I think oh well, I guess Braum took a little bit of damage. We might as well. Since I'm about to get it all back, you know, what's the big deal about going in to use it? At this point, it's not going to hurt anything. That's true. At this point, this was like a pretty original final boss. Most of the final bosses in older games were dragons. Just almost always dragons. Crap out of Void for a little bit here. Well, to be fair, it was good she didn't check chat since she spoiled, or tried to spoil, who the Black Knight's identity was when she played last time, but she already finished the game and I already told her who it was. So thankfully her inability to pay attention to multiple things at once actually worked out. If you check tags whenever I do live streams, stuff for mine, most of the time, unless it is a new game that I've not played, it's totally fine with being spoiled, but for hers I always put on a no spoiler tag. Which is why I eliminated chat last time, is because I didn't want that spoiler on screen. And actually going in to delete it proper through the page would have, like, it would have taken forever and it would have caused a mess, and at that point she probably would have noticed it, so it was easier to do it that way. But again, she's also done with Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, so she'll be doing something else tomorrow. Which, you know, if I actually can find it on eShop, I've got an actual, like, physical copy, but if I can find it on eShop, I'm kind of tempted to load it up and play a little bit of it today. So I might do that. Again, if I can find it on eShop, we'll see. First and foremost, these guys gotta go. That works. Alright, no more of those. I know they'll respawn, but for right now, there's no more. Okay, now there's no more. I take that back. I didn't see that guy over there. Cool. Wow, that is very low on hit. You must have, like... Yeah, that's what I thought. I was gonna say, your biorhythm must be in the gutter right now. I kinda want to take out the stronger ones first. So much damage. I'm so glad I got him. Usable characters. Actually, we'll knock that out with... Well, not if you do that. Maybe if you could aim... You meaning me, not him. Speaking of inability to aim. Maybe. Hey! Or it could miss again. Sure. Alright, I'm getting really tired of that now. Even if that connected, it wouldn't matter. Affiliation, chosen one. He is the chosen one. Whatever. Alright. No, you're gonna use Fortify. Yes, I can't get it this round. That one's gonna heal completely. Like, he could damage this one, but I'm pretty sure he can't get it again because his Biorhythm is just in the gutter right now. He might get one hit, maybe. Nope. Not even one. Alright, give me my health back because I'm gonna need it. Oh, they only healed for 40? I thought it was a full heal. Ow. Oh good, more of those. Well, at least it gives the other guys something to do. Are you supported with Ike? I might try to use characters that are supported with other characters that can't do... Like, people that are supported with characters that happen to heal, I'm probably going to try to keep them close by those characters for that support. Like Mia, for example. Might as well. Now you don't miss. Sure, why not? Why do you keep missing? What is going on? Just everyone a crap Biorhythm? Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Because Ike's a bad Biorhythm too. Like, I've had no damage be a problem before in this fight, but I've never had missing be a problem this much. I'm probably better off going with... yeah. In this case. Don't need your stinking Aurora ability. That's such an annoying effect, too. I don't think he's at S and stabs. Nope, B. Which is good enough for Physic, which is the big thing that we needed. Speaking of big things we need, I need to get this guy out of here. Thank you. I appreciate that. I actually don't remember who you're supported with. Oh, you are supported with Peleus. Alright. We'll keep Gotcha over here. Well, no, I guess we'll move him here. Also, I agree. I'm glad they dropped the Biorhythm mechanic. Like, I get the idea, and it totally makes sense. And it's kind of like the same ideal of, like, how the Advance Wars ability makes sense, of, like, whenever your unit has, like, whenever your troop or whoever you're using has lost a couple people, they're weaker in morale, not just offense. Like, I get that idea, but when it's just straight up a Biorhythm in this, it's so frustrating. To be like, oh yeah, you dropped like 40 accuracy because it's turn 5. Like, what? That's dumb. Because, like, there's very, very little that can control it. Like, there's, you know, the one staff that can control it, but... if they had, like, an item you could just keep around that was as common as a Vulnerate, that's like, oh, this boosts your Biorhythm up by, like, 50%, then I probably wouldn't mind it as much. But then you could also see how that would be broken, because you could just stay at really high Biorhythm, and everybody else that you're fighting in the enemies would be much lower. Maybe have it be like a semi-rare item that you can keep on people. Like, I'm not saying it can't be done, I'm just saying they could have done it better. Like, it could just be something like, you know, the equivalent of like a home-cooked meal, something that would boost your spirits. Doesn't even have to actually give you health back. Alright, Ike, please don't miss again. I'm really getting sick of that. Thank you. Not asking for a miracle here. Might be able to knock this one out. I'd have to take a little bit of Aurora damage, but I got a decent chunk of it without having to take any. About half. I can give it a shot, at least. Might as well. Maybe? Nope. How health did you have? 12? Jeez. I know this is a bad idea, I know. I'm aware. But it does eliminate that one if I can not miss here. Thank you, Neffany, for being the only consistent player thus far. I appreciate that. More than you know. Alright, so that's the heavier ones. Because the ones on the corners are harder to kill than the ones that are, like, directly up, down, left, or right of the Shara. For whatever reason. I think it's, yeah, the cover. Versus the ward wood. I guess the ones with a ward wood are harder to hit with magic or something. Is that dictated on how many of the things she has around her? Because that did significantly less damage than last time, and his biorhythm is about as low as it can go. I know they're not very strong, but man, do I love those brave weapons sometimes. Yancy's also nice. Physical single target. Oh, that, yeah, if it's physical versus, almost said mental. If it's physical versus magic, then that would make sense as well. That's time to cut through these weaker ones like they're butter. Like, you have to get the final hit on the goddess Ashera. You know that, right? And your accuracy's in the toilet right now. So I'm really hoping I'm not gonna miss like 87 times. So I really don't want that to happen. And I can take out just about anybody. That works. I mean, we could try. Be hilarious if I whiffed the final blow. That happened the first time I played this game, actually, and I did play it on easy mode. Because, you know, I played it on normal and then got about halfway through the first part and went, is this supposed to be this difficult? And I found out about the translation problem and went, oh, that's why it's an issue. There's an extra cutscene for it. I mean, it plays out like a cutscene you'd see here because it's actually required. Even if you got the cutscenes off, it'll play that. And he just misses. Like, it doesn't do the little fancy, like, twirl animation that he does when he gets the final hit. It's just, it acts like a normal hit that misses. Alright, in theory, this next round will be the last round. In theory. The problem is, I think it's time for her to get her super, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And this can start one-shotting people. Oh no, this is silence, never mind. And it didn't get everyone. In fact, it missed a lot of players. The only person it got that it really mattered was Micaiah, because Boyd and Ike are doing... What? Okay, something weird's going on here, and I'm approving of it, but I'm still confused. I don't remember if these guys guard or not, but I'm going to attack them and try to eliminate them regardless. Because the last thing I need is some little extra help from her friends. Kind of stun. Ah, okay. I can't get up there to the other ones, that's fine though. And because that's weak enough... I'm telling you, Nephi's the only one that can hit, like, consistently. I don't know... whatever. I mean, it's because her bio... No, because her bio is to have that giant fluctuation like Ike's does, for example. Alright, he's at normal now, so that's better. Not that I don't trust the game, but after the crap it's pulled tonight, and we've only been live for about 40 minutes... well, you know. Alright, Boyd, kick her ass. Oh, I guess we can do that. Since he can't do any damage, we might as well. I just get a bad feeling that one remaining spirit's just gonna come up and be like, hey, I can just restore her health completely. Would not put it past this game to do that. I don't think he's gonna be able to do any damage. If he could hit, that would be nice, because Ike does like, what, 10, I think? No, 20. But he's got to hit one of those 2 times. Oh. And I didn't mean to hit A there, but it decided that I meant to hit A there, so I appreciate that. Thanks. There's no way this can actually work. No, I didn't think so. It's like, I know the answer to this, and it's probably no, but it would be funny. Well, if that's the case. I mean, I don't want to do it, but I'm pretty much going to have to at this point. That really sucks that it thought that I hit the button, because I didn't. Alright, it's not a full heal, so again, we should be okay. You, however, are going to fly over like the turd you are. Yeah, this is what I was more worried about. Yep, that's going to kill someone. Almost assuredly. No, we might be okay. See our chance to silence it. I mean, I'm not surprised. Her resistance is 50 after all. Now we can sit here and watch Nephany and Kieran and a bunch of other people get healed. Alright, no more of those guys, thankfully. It's actually perfect. She has 1 health, Ike, and I don't trust you. I really don't trust you. All you have to do is hit 1 time of these 2. 1 time, that's it. I'm pretty sure, again, that they stay on, but you know what? All you have to do is hit one time. You are at full health. I'll even let the cutscene play. He's gonna miss. He's gonna miss both times. You watch this asshole.
All the power I have.
Thank you.
I'll use it well. He lied. How could you talk to Ike when she sounds? Telepathy? Maybe? Maybe she's just mouthing the words. Maybe it's just telepathy and it's just, well, we'll do this. I'm gonna be so angry if he misses twice. I've got the biggest smile on my face, but I'm still gonna be angry. Alright, we're good. Thank you for not missing. I appreciate that. Like, I genuinely appreciate that, Ike. Of all the problems I thought I was gonna have in Endgame, missing was not one of them. In fact, it probably would have even cracked, like, the top 30. Yikes. Alright. And yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go ahead and skip it. I kinda had it up for a little while and I was gonna talk about my thoughts, but there's so much endgame stuff that plays that you can't skip, so I'm just gonna go ahead and skip. That's actually very close to my clear data time on the file just above it. It's only off by about, what, 23 minutes? All things considered, since it's a 24-hour almost setting. That's pretty close together. Oh, you can skip it. Okay. Didn't remember you could do that. Well, I'm not going to skip the staff credits. I'm actually going to let them play so I can talk about my thoughts on it. So doing a coin flip run. It's an interesting idea. I kind of think, in particular for Radiant Dawn, it probably... Well, not just for Radiant Dawn, just in general. I feel like it does highlight some of the problems in the case of Radiant Dawn in the idea of playing on normal mode where it's actually hard mode. Because the stages early on with like the Dawn Brigade that are hard normally are just going to get that much worse. And so hard stages become way harder as a result. So it is a challenge run in that right. I think if you wanted to do it in the challenge run, to do it on an easier game, again, you would probably go to Path of Radiance because I consider that one of the easiest games in the series. One of the easiest, like, middle ground games. We're not talking about the new ones with, like, Phoenix mode and all that junk. So that would be a good place to start. But actually doing it was a lot of fun. I think I probably would have enjoyed it more had I not already used all the units in this game at least 3 times on my own, like, you know, different runs that I played throughout owning this game. Because I've had it for a while. I've had it since 2000... Oh, probably 9 or 10, so it's, you know, been about 10 years. So I've played through a lot. But I think it would have been cool to have it, be, you know, force me to use, like, characters I wouldn't normally use. Because when I first played the game, I just, like, I watched somebody else play, and I kind of just used their... Pretty much just used their units. I have used Liar, yes, and she is just as bad as you think she is. It does not matter if she's level 20, or level 30, or level 40. It does not matter what skills you give her. It does not matter how much you use the stat boosting items. She's terrible. Straight up, she's bad. Leaf is usable, Mordecai is usable, Ranulf is usable. Pretty much almost everybody else, with the exception of maybe like Miriam, Vika, and that, again, that's mostly due to low availability, are decent. They're not great, but they're decent. Liar is bad. She's bad. I'd put her at the bottom. Like, if I had to rank characters from, like, lowest to highest in terms of how good they are, she is most definitely in the bottom 3. Like, almost assuredly in the bottom 3. I don't know who'd be there with her, but I can guarantee Liar is down there. So it would have been interesting to be kind of, like, forced to use characters that I hadn't already, because in my first run-through, like, for Dawn Brigade, it was Edward, Nolan, Aaron, and Micaiah, primarily, in that group. For, like, the initial things, then I picked up Jill and Zahark and used them as well. For Crimean units, it was Geoffrey, Kieran, and I guess, you know, in that Crimean set is also Braum, Nephany, and Har, who were also used. Set 3 of the Grail Mercenaries is Ike, Soren, Boyd, Rolf, and Shinnon, and a little bit of Gotri, but not as much. So, like, pretty much it was that set I'd use. So, like, I would have never touched, like, you know, I would have never touched somebody like Leonardo, for example. But I had already done that on my own time. Had I gotten a bunch of crummy characters like that in a row, it probably would have been awful. Like, just imagine if for, like, Dawn Brigade I had, like, Micaiah, Leonardo, like, and a bunch of characters that are good but frail, like Ileana, where it's like, they're not bad, but, like, they can't hold the front line of Fort Knox. You know, like, 313 without Aaron would have been a nightmare to do, because I had no Nolan, Edward was still dying in 2 hits, I had no Jill, it would have been rough. See, you could definitely get RNG screwed on this, like, for sure. But I do like the idea. I think the idea is pretty cool. Might do it again for another Fire Emblem game. Maybe for Path of Radiance, maybe for another thing. I do kind of want to do it again. Not immediately again, but I kind of do want to do it again. And Path of Radiance is the only game I feel confident in that I've played enough of it to say that would be the one I would do. So, like, maybe I would try to put it on, like, Sacred Stones. That could be an interesting idea, because I've not played Sacred Stones in a while, but I know there's a lot of good units in there, and I know there are also a lot of bad ones. There's a couple faces that are coming to mind almost immediately that are not very good. So, do you like the idea of the challenge run? Again, if you missed any part of it, you can check on the archive page. I'm going to start updating that tonight. That's pretty much what I'm going to do with the remainder of the night after I'm done with all the other junk I'm going to do. So I'll have all that updated. It'll have all, like, the rules and regulations, but in short, the rules were, I already talked about how the coin flip works. Some characters are automatically required, Ike, Alencia, Micaiah, because they're story-driven and they're going to be in most, if not all, the stages, so you might as well keep them there. Allied units, other units, you can control as you would normally. Well, at least for allies. Others you can't really do anything about. Those are really the big things to hit, primarily. I already kind of talked about exceptions for when you're allowed to use non-usable characters, such as keeping them out of the way if they're forced into a stage, or doing a specific requirement like talking to somebody to recruit them, or arriving on a specific objective, anything like that. So it's a simple idea, but it kind of forces you to use a team that you don't normally do. So, like, let me take a look at this list right quick. I'm gonna move the chat over on my window. Like, Ike, I use pretty frequently. Titania, no, I don't use her frequently at all. Boyd, didn't initially, but now I do, yeah. Godfrey, I use him a lot, but I don't usually take him to endgame. Reese, I don't ever use. Mia, more so in this game than Path of Radiance, I use her a fair bit, yeah. Nephany, definitely. Braum, definitely. Sigrun, no. Micaiah, she's required, so, you know, I guess, yes, technically. Edward, yeah, I use him a lot. Edward's kind of just the case of, like, if he doesn't get the right levels by the time he's at True Blade, like level 5 or 6, I know he's not going to go to endgame, but I do like using him. Laura, again, not endgame material, but I try to get her to class 2 to put Ike to sleep in 313, which helps a lot. Jivsa, I'm personally, if I'm playing on easy mode, I don't like spamming the Laguz Royals. In fact, will take none of them in if I give him the choice. Aaron, good, but not endgame good. He has no resistance, no speed, and those are 2 big strikes against him, but otherwise he's great. Velu, no. Vika, definitely no. Nyla, same thing with Jivsa, don't like using the Royals. Kieran, he goes back and forth. It kind of depends on how his levels go. He can be great or he can be awful. Marcia, I'm typically not big on the Pegasus Knights. That's just kind of a personal thing. I'm a Wyvern guy, and I like my Wyvern Knights a lot more. So, again, personal preference. Renning, too late of a join time, so he's not going to get used because I've already built my team by then. Alencia, again, same thing with Peg Knights. She's a little bit more viable in the fact she's got a meaty for double attacks and healing staff, so a little bit more plausible. Naysala, again, a Royal. Peleus, yes. Stefan, again, he kind of suffers from bad luck in a late join time, but, you know, can't really help that. Volk, same thing. Kurthnaga, no. So, like, it's about 50-50 for characters I use and don't use. I do think the rules would have to be tweaked a little bit more, because there was one point where I had to add characters on the list because it was, like, complete, like, chapter 2-1 or 2-2, whichever it is. I think it's 2-1 because of prologue. Like, complete the stage with Braum, Nephany, and Heather on normal mode using only Heather. And that can't be done because you can't damage the boss with Heather, with her weapons, or with the, like, Daemon card, Spectre card, whichever card it is. It doesn't do enough damage and doesn't have enough uses, so it literally cannot be done. So there are probably times where you kind of have to figure out a fail-safe for that. But there's the fin. Let's take a look at the units here. Oh, right, in the records. What? Oh, God, it was probably those. Holy moly, I forgot how long we took in those stages. Yikes. I know we raised the standards 2 parts, but jeez. One survives was because I could only use Mikayan, so I was moving around very carefully. And see, now the numbers are going to start going down, because I actually had decent units I could use. Yikes. I didn't realize that we spent like almost 50 turns on some of those levels. Well, when I said on normal mode some of those early stages were rough, I was not kidding. And keep in mind, I had no Nolan to use either, and he kind of... Well, there's no kind of about it. He really carries the team early game because he hits like a truck, can dodge pretty well, and has a truckload of HP compared to everybody else other than Soph. Wow. In-game Rebirth 4 took 3 turns. Man, that's something. Alright, in the meantime, yes, I will bring out your artwork. Just send it to me on Discord real quick while these credits are going through, because I don't have it up right now. So I gotta pull up Discord as is. You're gonna be seeing a lot of zeros here. Because of this requirement, there's gonna be a lot of zeros. Oh boy. Look at all those zeros, man. So many zeros it is on Discord. What tab is it on? Because, again, I've got a lot of tabs, and I'm very bad about keeping track of them all. Oh, no, never mind. There it is. I found it. It's under art stuff, right? Gotcha. I'm actually going to open all the art that I've gotten on here just this far, and we'll just go through a little thing of them. And in case anyone was wondering, no, there's not supposed to be a tab for not safe for work art. That was just kind of a reminder in the tab itself that's just don't post anything lewd. Which, thankfully, that's not been a problem, so I appreciate everyone for keeping the peace in that regard. 5th place, Aaron the Sentinel, because he had to do a lot of the stages almost by himself, so that is a bit understandable. I do love his outfit, though. His outfit looks so cool. 4th, Ike. He would have been higher had he not missed all the time. He didn't miss all the time, he just kept missing in the end game. 4th is Boyd. He was very useful, and I was very glad that I got him because it would have been much harder if he had not been available. Enjoy that bronze medal, Boyd. 2nd, Neffany, who's always a reliable character. Like, seriously, you cannot go wrong with this woman. She's insanely good. I've never had a bad Neffany, ever. And lastly, in 1st, the guy we didn't take to the end game, still got 1st, Edward the True Blade. That is funny, though. He was the only well, no, Aaron, I guess, too. That is funny, though. He didn't get taken to endgame, and he still had enough kills to not be in any of those parts and still come out on top. That is actually legit really funny. That is hysterically funny. I was expecting Edward, like, you know, 4th, 3rd, whatever. Because I wasn't paying attention to the screen, so I didn't see who else was on that list. That's genuinely really funny, though. So I approve. So yeah, that clear data was actually pretty close together, correct? Yeah, 11 minutes, roughly. That's between an easy file and a normal file, though. I know battle saves, like, you know, don't count towards that time, but... Oh well. Interesting food for thought. Alright, let me close out some stuff here and figure out how to get to... mashing a bunch of buttons and causing a problem. Yes, that's what I wanted to do. Sometimes I hate having giant hands. Let's go to the basic scene. That'll work. We'll mute that. Actually, I'll switch back this for a split second. and we'll get a little bit of music playing as well. I'm not going to have it on crazy high like I do normally. That'll work. Well, if iTunes would be kind enough to load, I'd appreciate that. Any day now. I was wondering if it was playing there or not. Again, it's really quiet, so if you can't hear it, then it's not that big a deal. Alright, let's go ahead and begin at the beginning, because that's typically a good place to start. First and foremost, is a very nice headshot of Mr. Wolf O'Donnell. I believe this was posted around the time that Smash Ultimate was introduced, and so we were getting all the characters back. Whoa, that zoomed in a lot more than I thought it would. So yeah, looks very nice. That was submitted by one Mr. Aaron Kelly, who's a regular at our streams. Second is titled Vibri, or Vibri, maybe, with some line tool work here. By Platinum Comet with the strike through of a completely polygonal character, and I avoid the line tool like the plague. Despite that, that's still far better than anything I could come up with. It's got a very, like, Super Paper Mario vibe, and I'm kind of okay with that. I don't think Super Paper Mario is as good as the first two, but, you know, I like the art style for it. So, very cool. The third one is Artist Doodle by Artist, one of our mods, who's usually either working or streaming at the time that I am streaming, so you don't see him that often, but has a headshot of his character. And since he actually is an artist, he will always be able to draw better than I ever could. And last but not least, of course, the artwork of Mr. Leon and Mr. Peleus, who's using, I guess, a Thundertome there, fittingly. I'd love that shade of royal blue on on Peleus, though. It looks so nice. And that was, of course, submitted by Lachesis, who is in chat with us right now. So let's hop back over to the scene. And while we are here, since we only spend an hour, like, screwing around with all this junk, I am actually going to try and see if I can find that other game on eShop real quick. I did not mean to take down chat on my end, because I wanted to be able to see that. Yeah, if you post anything in chat that I've missed in, like, the last couple minutes, then I apologize. You can feel free to repost it. I usually have to make note of that, A, for the people there, and also so mods won't delete duplicates. But you should be good on that front. Is resetting this going to take it to the Wii U menu? Ooh, I didn't want to do that. And don't worry, I was supposed to give you that, like, no signal thing. Because I had to hit reset and I hit power by accident because, again, I have giant hands and it causes problems. Like, a lot. Seriously. If you've always said, like, I want hands to be able to carry more stuff, you're not missing out. Like, if with people with big hands, like, imagine if you were texting on your phone and your hands are about 3 times the size they are now. Yeah. You hit about 85 million to billion buttons at the same time. Which is a nice way of saying, like, closer to about 5 or 6, but... Also, this is Mr. Retro PC DOS. This was, whoever gave me their Wii U, and I can't delete their file because it's under a password. So that's good, isn't it? So we got a lot of good stuff here. Maybe we'll play some Wheel of Fortune, in a little bit here. Have an all-day trip tomorrow and have to prepare for it. See you later. Alright, see you later, Aura. Hope the trip goes well, be it for school or anything else. Probably for, well, I mean, it'll be Sunday tomorrow, so probably not for school. I'm going to check and see if the game we're playing tomorrow is on the eShop. Because I've been told by a reliable source that it is, so we'll find out. Obviously, in entering all my credit card information, I will be switching back to intermission. I'm not that stupid. Ah, so close. It doesn't actually do anything for getting the doodad. Oh, right, there's all the champions stuff. I've not been on here in a while, holy cow. Of course, I had Breath of the Wild on Switch, not on Wii U, so... Games with DLC. Games on sale. I'm curious. Is there anything good on sale? Sonic and All-Stars. Oh, that should tell you something. Answer's probably no. Oh, darts game. Heck yeah. Dude, we should totally play that. I know it's probably not going to be on here, but I was curious. Is Icarus going to play Radiant Dawn? Maybe at some point, but not right away, RPGs. Wait a minute. Is Paper Mario in here? Don't get my hopes up like this, man. Go by ratings, because if so, Paper Mario's going to be at the top. Breath of the Wild. Alright, if you say it's an RPG, I'd say it's an adventure, but whatever. Going to Harper's Ferry. Oh, yeah! Harper's Ferry. We actually talked about that in Civil War and Reconstruction, like, semi-recently. So that should be pretty cool. Have fun. Earthbound. Earthbound! You're so good. That's why I already own a copy of you. Wait, oh, nice. I didn't realize that was on here. Yeah, original Paper Mario. I knew that was on here. I was thinking, like, hey, Sacred Stones is on here, too. I need to pick up some more stuff, apparently. Superstar Saga. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Paper Mario 2 was on here. We would have seen it already, because we're going by rating, which means unless they just did a god-awful port of it, that it would have already come up. So I'm going to assume that it probably already has, or that it probably is not there, because it would have already shown up. Enter search. I mean, I just wanted to enter the title of the game. Oh, I gotta do this with a D-pad? Ugh. Alright, fine. At least all the letters are relatively close together. That kind of sucks. You can't use the pointer for that. I don't remember having this problem, but okay. Hey, Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2's on here as well? Really? Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, I am actually going to download a copy of this because this is what we're playing tomorrow. Again, I do have the physical copy, but it is not my physical copy. I have it on GameCube, but the disc is having a lot of problems running, and I don't want that issue to occur. So, Icarus's husband actually lent the Wii copy to me, but I would like a copy for my own personal time, so I'm going to pick this up real quick. So in the meantime, we will cut to intermission while I enter all my credit card information, because, again, you probably shouldn't see that on stream. I'm not going to do the dumb thing that I've seen other people do of being like, alright, so 5, 3, 6, and actually saying it out loud by accident. Thankfully, I know my credit card information by now, and if you do not actually know it by heart, you should probably get used to doing that. Credit card, social security numbers, a couple things you need to just kind of have memorized after a while. Yes, that is the one I want to use. Oh, I gotta turn the gamepad on? Oh, come on. Dude, I don't think the gamepad is charged right now. In fact, you know what? I don't even have to say I don't think. I know the gamepad isn't charged right now because it has not been used for a while. Which also means I need to find it. Hooray! Oh, I need more space in here. I am running out of room in my office, which is a nice way of saying my room. But, you know, the fancy thing to call it is an office, but, like, I guess technically it serves as both. It is my workspace and where I sleep and live, so it is technically both. The other problem is I have to remember what the charger for this dumb thing is. Because there's just, like, chargers and crap all over the place because I've run out of space to store these damn things. Like, there's no room left. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to when I move out. There's no room to put anything. Like, somebody gave me another DVD VCR combo, which is great, but it's just sitting on my extra chair. There's nowhere I can put it. There's no room in my closet. There's no room on my shelves. Like, there wasn't room before, and there definitely ain't room now. It's enough of your first world problems. I couldn't put it somewhere because I had too much stuff and not enough space. First world problem, if you ever heard one right there. But, I mean, you know, like, even living in an actual apartment, no matter how small it is, I'm gonna have more rooms. I'm not gonna have just one room where everything's kept, so there's that at least. Because, you know, you'll still have, like, the bathroom, but you'll have, like, the kitchen, like, a little bit of a living room, your actual room, so... There'll at least be, like, 3 to 4 rooms as opposed to, you know, 1. So that's charging, and usually you can turn it on right away, but I'll give it a couple seconds while I put some stuff back. And stretch. That's really cool. I did not realize how much stuff had been put on the Virtual Console for the Wii U since I had last touched it, so I might have to go through there at some point and just pick up a couple more games. Which really, if there's any spot that Wii U could shine, it's probably in this Virtual Console stuff, because the games, by and large, aren't very good. Icarus could do chat suggested play. I thought about doing that, but I would probably do it like an actual poll, and that would also force me to archive all my games and then figure out which ones I could actually play. Like, you know, because some of them I can't, like DS stuff, for example, I'd have to do in a different way, so I can't use physical copies of, say, what's up there right now? Pokemon Diamond, Yoshi's Island DS, My Sims, Code Lyoko, all that kind of stuff. They're just the ones I can see from where I'm sitting right now. Enter your password. Yeah, I totally remember what this is. I am completely airballing this. Hey, I got it right. Cool. I mean, I meant to do that. The other thing is, I have no idea how long this is going to take to download. Probably not very long, because Pikmin's a pretty short game. But I could be wrong. If you can play stuff while other things are downloading, maybe we'll do like a round of Wheel of Fortune or something. Man, this thing could use some screen cleaner on it right now. Holy cow. Start automatically. Alright, that's good. I'd like to see that because it's not that I don't trust you, but you know, I've been told one thing and then another has happened many a time with electronics, so, you know. You kind of always have to use your best judgment. I'm glad I remember that password and I saved all my data and whatnot, though. Right. Duh! Pointer, maybe. That would come in handy. Download. Or download management, rather. Alright, cool. Now going back to this, I guess I can eliminate some of this stuff off of the doodad. Let's just get rid of that. Actually, it'd probably be just easier to do this. There we go. We got there in the end. See, it is in fact downloading. Should be good in about half an hour. So in the meantime, we'll probably play some Wheel of Fortune. But first, I need to load up something else. I mean, we could do some Payday, but I'd get lost in there for hours. So I'll probably, like, try doing some Payday stuff after I'm done with university for the semester, and, like, I'll still have a summer class for May, but, you know, it'll only be 1 instead of 4.
And we are back for the...
And I don't know if I want to play this just because I don't want to get copyrighted for, like, showing someone else's work, so I probably shouldn't do that. I'll just say it out loud and it'll be easier. Top 5. I saw Nolan and Aaron were 5th and 6th, respectively. 5th is Edward, Swordmaster level 5, 73 wins, 118 battles. $95 victories. Level 20, Peleus Arcsage. 220 battles, for anyone was curious. 3rd, Tabar and Hawk King, 95 wins, 110 battles. 2nd, Marcia, Seraph Knight, level 20, 224 wins, 446 battles. She couldn't win round a lot, apparently. That's about 50-50. And lastly, Vanguard, level 20, which is Ike, with 464 wins, 749 battles. Nice. Mr. Ikey Poo takes the cake. Speaking of cake, let's move on to something else, shall we? While this is downloading. Totally forgot Netflix was on here. I need to catch up on some stuff, too. Let's play a round of Wheel of Fortune while we're waiting for our download, shall we? I will actually be smart enough, too, to change the game title. Look at me actually remembering things. Also, very quickly while I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to stop streaming and then start streaming again, so I'm just going to turn it off and back on. So, after you've heard this, refresh your page, and it should be a-okay. Well, actually, I'm going to change the game title before I do anything else, so give me a second here. This is only to be able to put them in 2 separate files, because if you've been here long enough, you know that it takes a very, 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 very long time to split up the videos and then post them that way, as opposed to doing it the other way. And it won't actually let me change the game title from here. Okay, got it. Cool. Alright. We will be back in like 3 seconds. So after it has stopped playing, just refresh the page and I'll post that in chat as well in case anyone was curious.